Hi everyone, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today is the return of Mass Effect. I've only checked out this game one time, and it was when I first started back in 2021. Two songs today, Vigil and M4 Part 2. I hear these are both the intro songs and the ending credits. So, also the debut of Mass Effect. I've done Mass Effect 2. These are requested by Beelzebub, David, and Kronos. Thank you very much. Before I get into this, these were recommended to me for the credits theme video I'm making. Well, the second one is M4 Part 2. But I've only checked out Mass Effect one time, and that was, again, in 2021. And the reason I remember that so vividly is because that was the first time I remember saying that a song didn't really connect with me. I had like a really hot streak for a while, and then that one was like, it didn't do anything for me. And that was like the first time I brought up like context being pretty important, and yeah, so it just always stuck with me as like the first song I quote unquote didn't like. So I'm kind of nervous going into this one. It's been almost 4 years, and I know Mass Effect is a big deal, so we're just gonna keep an open mind. These are from the channels Jack Wall and Fonts. Okay, starting with the theme or intro theme. It's really short. This is Vigil, Mass Effect. Electronic Arts. I haven't done a lot of EA games here. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna hold my thoughts until both of them are done. That one was only a minute and 40. This one's 8 minutes, so I'm gonna have a lot of time to process this one. I have nothing to say right now at the moment. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into the credits. So we're going from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. Let me know where the M4 Part 1 is. Is it in this game? Oh yeah, this is Mass Effect 1, so yeah, let me know what M4 is referring to. This is M4 Part 2, credits theme of Mass Effect. Let's go. Oh, that was good. That was a good track. We're getting somewhere now. Whoa. kind of reminds me of Muse a little bit. Oh. Interestingly enough, it also sounds like classic rock, like Blue Oyster Cult, you know, the vocal style. Has a very like late 60s, 70s vocal style. Yeah. Take out the music and just hear the acapella. Sounds kind of folk. Picked up the pace now. Ooh. I like this side of Mass Effect. Bass. It's getting louder with dynamics. You can actually hear the picking getting harder. It's just alternate picking. Up, down, up, down. Three notes? Right symbol. It's definitely fitting that sci-fi vibe of like reverb and open space. Oh, we changed a little bit. This is cool. I like this. I feel like there's a famous band that sounds like this. I just can't think of which one. Kind of synthwave style percussion. When was this game made? The music sounds very like 2013, 2016-ish. I should say the vocals sound like that. The cadence sounds old, or like 60, 70. But the vocal style sounds like 10 years ago. It's like space folk. Interesting. This is good. Oh, vaporwave sounding. I'm glad that there's an instrumental section to let it breathe a little bit. It sounds really good. feeling that it's a guess, but it's just like a very unique song to the whole soundtrack. The vocals and this energy. Or is this the norm? Credits do seem to like deviate to something totally different. Wow, this is more. This melody has essentially been playing the whole time and it's still effective. Sounded like a transmission scent or something. Oh man, let me tell you, when I saw this video coming, I was like, how do I feel about this? First of all, it's been so long, right? It's been years since I heard Mass Effect, and again, I still remember it. I don't remember what it sounded like, but I do remember it kind of reminded me of the first song, Vigil, where it was just kind of there and I didn't know what to say. In this one, I mean, it was the same thing. Vigil was like a 1 minute song and it was just drone note for like a minute and then it just stopped. Truth be told, I nothing came from that again, you know what I mean? But that's, you can't really blame me, you know. This is, I'm getting the feel for Mass Effect. It's definitely one of those games that just have to be played to experience it. This is more about like setting the tone, setting the ambience, and what I can get from either that first video from years ago and then the beginning song is that it's like a kind of like a cinematic experience or like a very story driven experience. Now I'm not sure, I'm just guessing. Is this more like story focused than like mechanics and combat focused? Or are they both good? You know, that kind of thing. I have no idea. Because it's sounding like it's setting the tone, sort of like Metal Gear Solid, right? Metal Gear Solid is one of my favorite games of all time. But the music is definitely like in the moment right there and then. And there's some songs that you can kind of recite back, but for the most part, it's just like, you know, just kind of putting you in the moment. So the first song, Vigil, gave me the exact same feeling as I did with the Mass Effect 2 video. But it's starting to make a little more sense now. I've also listened to over 1,000 songs since that time I heard Mass Effect 2. So I've heard other kind of like vague orchestral droney ambient stuff since, and I've kind of developed this like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's just, and especially since the intro song, right? I can just totally imagine like, you know, strap in, come home from work, whatever, and then pop this on and then like, let's get into the world of Mass Effect. That's what it feels like to me. Not every song in the video game music world is meant to, you know, be all headbangy and everything. So I get it. I totally get it. I want to remind you guys that there was a time where Monster Hunter for like the first year and a half, same thing. I was just like, okay, cool, you know. And then I started to come around, and now I look forward to Monster Hunter. It's really, really cool, and I'm starting to. It's just a. I mean, again, I'm not playing these games, so it's like I have a complete outsider's perspective on them. All I could really do is latch on to the musical elements of it. You know, my music brain is like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, that first one was just like, essentially, in the nicest way possible, just nothing. You know, it was ambient setting and setting the mood. And for that, I think it does the job very well. Second song, the one we just heard, that, see, I don't know, I don't want to get my hopes up because it's a credit song, and as we all know, in credits, there tends to be a very different sound from the rest of the soundtrack. Usually has vocals, has a very different swing. It can be very emotional sounding, or kind of like this, where it was just basically the whole feeling I get from Mass Effect is very cinematic, closer to a movie than a game. Again, like Metal Gear. Metal Gear is definitely a game, but you know, anyone who's played it definitely is like reminiscent of a movie. So I'm getting the same feel here, except this felt more like, to me, if I had to guess, probably a unique song in the soundtrack where most things don't sound like this. Probably the only song with vocals, that kind of thing. But a lot more to extract from it. You know, it's much longer. It kept me, you know, wanting more. What's gonna come around the corner? And to my surprise, it's one of these songs where less is more, and it's just a lot of repetition, but it's mixed up with vocals and percussion, and you know. So the repetition here was essentially a really simple guitar part. But what makes it cool is the effects that are running through it. You know, it's not just a simple as just a guitar plugged in. It's like a clean signal with a little bit of distortion or overdrive and reverb and delay, making it that kind of ping pong effect. And that alone adds a bunch of ambient. So all of a sudden, these like 3 or 4 notes that are repeating over and over have some life to them. And then varies it up a little bit, and you know, sometimes it goes away, and then the keyboards swell up. Percussion was really cool, and of course the vocals, which I think was the main thing. I don't know if it says the information here. So according to this, it says, well, I'm confused. It says 2016 Electronic Arts Music, but it was released 2007. Okay. So was Fonts like the group that recorded this? I don't know if that was like an actual band that did it, but it kind of sounded like one. Sort of Muse, Coldplay-ish, that kind of thing. I don't even know what kind of genre you would label that as, but that was interesting too. Is also the kind of array of genres it had. When I said earlier about like the kind of classic folk stuff, if you were to remove all the instruments, in my opinion at least, all the instruments and just heard the vocals, their cadence was very like late 60s, 70s, stuff like The Byrds, who else? Mamas and the Papas and Cat Stevens, stuff like that. Like it just had a swing to it. But the vocal style, like the sound of his voice sounded very, what did I say? Like 2010s or something? This was 2007. Yeah, okay, yeah. So it was interesting. So it sounded like a space folk song, which I don't think I've heard before. So there's always something to take away from each song, right? And for me, I don't think I've heard a genre quite like this. But either way, I think overall Mass Effect does its job. And I do remember that was one of the first times where comments back then were like, well, yeah, you got to play the game to understand, right? And that's always been the case with every single game here. But the first time I heard it in huge amounts of numbers was Mass Effect. And I'm starting to understand. Hopefully it doesn't take another 3-ish years to hear Mass Effect again. But let me know how the soundtrack is. Is it just like, you know, what it's there for? Is it kind of like what I sometimes compare to as God of War or Metal Gear Solid music, 2 games that I really love, but wouldn't necessarily recommend someone to hear the music unless you play the game? That's what it feels like. Really cool though. I like it. This is the one that's gonna like stick with me though. The other 2, probably not. This I can remember as the long guitar song with the cool vocals. Awesome. M4 Part 2. Let me know about Mass Effect. Is the series still going? Is there any more? I know there's 2 of them, but I don't know if there's any more than that. Cool. Tell me whatever you want. And this will be featured in the next VGM Vibes episode with credits. So that's cool. Thank you to everyone that suggested it. Thank you to everyone you see on screen. I couldn't be here without them. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Have a good one.